justice issues. We're going to look at some verses in the Bible in a little bit, but really, when you look through the Bible, Jesus he just cares and cares about justice issues. I was reading the other day, and it was a story about Jesus, and it was the Sabbath day. And so the Sabbath day, traditionally, in the Jewish tradition, where you were supposed to rest, you weren't supposed to do anything. And Jesus got in trouble, and the Pharisees wanted to execute him because he healed someone on the Sabbath. He went to this pool, and this guy was sitting at this pool, and he was lame, he couldn't walk, and Jesus was like, "What do you want me to do for you?" And he's like, "I can't make it into the pool, I want to be healed." And Jesus heals him. And the Pharisees are super upset with him. Then there's this other day where Jesus is in the temple, and this guy comes up, and his hand is all messed up, and Jesus is like, "What do you want me to do for you?" And he's like, I want to be healed. And the Pharisees are like, "You can't work on the Sabbath." And Jesus says, "I'm going to do the will of my Father." And he heals this man. And he's getting in trouble for doing justice for people. And what's happening right now in our culture and our society is that people are caring a lot about justice issues. Justice is everywhere. You go to concerts, any kind of music concert, they always have a booth or something that they're promoting that is doing justice, whether it be something that's working with tuberculosis in Haiti, like an organization called Partners in Health, or different things that different organizations are doing that are trying to help the poor. If you go into schools, or you go into a lot of churches, or you go and look at a lot of organizations, everyone's caring about justice. And I think that's beautiful, but I think the problem can be is that we look to justice and we look to doing good, and we forget about who Jesus is.
Right.
And when you do that, something happens, because Jesus is consistent. From the beginning of time, when I read in the Bible, Jesus is always looking to justice. And he's always saying, if you come to me in heaven and you say, "I knew you, but you didn't help the poor, you didn't feed the hungry, you didn't visit those people who are lonely, you didn't take care of the orphan and the widow," then you're not with me, and you spend eternity away from me. But if you come to me and say, "Jesus, I knew you," Jesus will say, "I knew you because you acted in this way out of your love for me." And so what happens is, when we care about justice and Jesus is not connected with that, it's not going to last. Because in a few years, when my kids, I was saying this morning, when my kids are older, there's going to be something else. There's going to be something else that culture tells them that's important, or that society tells them that's important. And they're going to follow that. But if they're following Jesus, they're always going to stay on the same thing. And so tonight, we want to talk about obedience. Obedience to what Jesus is saying. So what's going to happen tonight is we're going to have some sharing. We're going to have some stories about some people who have done some amazing things in the world because they're followers of Jesus, and because they really take seriously the words that he says, that true religion is to take care of orphans and widows. And they take seriously what it says that in Micah, where God says that he's shown you what is good, and what is important to him is for us to do justice. And so we want to talk about obedience tonight. So we're going to tell some stories. We're going to have a time of worship and response. And we're just going to really invite God to speak into our lives. So I'm going to ask Chris to come up and sing.